CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
West Shore RCMP are investigating a terrifying home invasion overnight, and they think the two attackers targeted the wrong house. RCMP say two men forced their way into a home in the Lagoon area of Colwood at about 1 o'clock this morning. A 33-year-old man and 25-year-old woman were inside and were prevented from leaving. Police say the men demanded cash and other items. They fled, but before they made off with the victims' wallets and keys, Mounties say the man living in the house was assaulted. Police say it appears the home invasion was a targeted attack, but the suspects got the wrong place. Investigators say the victims are pretty shaken up.
Absolutely. This is a situation where, somebody has forcibly entered a residence to two unsuspecting people. So it's very traumatic. At this point, we have no indication that this is a repetitive offense. We are aware that home invasions do happen, and that we urge the public, as always, to take their personal precautions, to be involved in their own personal safety.
Police say the first suspect is a 25 to 30-year-old white man, 5'7" to 5'9" in height with a medium build. The second suspect, also a Caucasian, 25 to 30, 5'11" in height with a medium build, a slim face, sandy hair and blue eyes. Both men were wearing black. If you know anything about this Colwood home invasion overnight, you're asked to contact West Shore RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Victoria Police say they've taken a big bite out of the methamphetamine and GHB drug trade in Esquimalt. After an extensive investigation, officers executed 2 search warrants in the 600 block of Admirals Road yesterday. 6 people were arrested in the bust. Thousands of dollars worth of methamphetamine and GHB, the so-called date rape drug, were seized. Police also found a large amount of stolen property.
It is drugs that we don't see too often in Victoria, being the GHB sale and the methamphetamine. And even if it's just a wrinkle we put in the plans of the drug dealers, it's still an inconvenience to them. We're still out there doing our jobs and trying to get this off the street.
Police say the meth culture is inhabited by users who commit property crime to help pay for their next fix. The 3 women and 2 men in their 20s and a 34-year-old Saanich man are all facing charges of possession for the purpose of trafficking. Fraser Valley and Lower Mainland today, voter turnout reported to be steady, not overwhelming, for by-elections underway in the ridings of Port Moody, Coquitlam and Chilliwack Hope. NDP leader Adrian Dix spent the day in the 2 ridings stumping for his NDP candidates. The Liberals had held both of these ridings before the MLAs quit to get out of politics, but Premier Christy Clark does not appear confident that her party is going to hang on to either seat. She says sitting governments rarely win by-elections. In addition to the NDP challenger, the Liberals are facing what may be the strongest challenge from the revived BC Conservative Party. Retired BC government employees have given up their fight for medical premium coverage. CFAX 1070 is reporting tonight that the Employees Association for those retirees will not take their case to the Supreme Court of Canada after losing in the BC Court of Appeal. The provincial government changed its policy on that 10 years ago, no longer paying MSP premiums for the retirees. There are about 2,700 retired civil servants affected by this. The decision is worth tens of millions of dollars to the province. Well, if you're looking to change jobs, make a career change, or if you're out of work right now, you might want to consider picking up a tool belt and learning a trade. Because they are in demand, students were carving through their assignments at Camosun College today. The woodwork shop was the backdrop for the Minister of Jobs, Tourism and Innovation to boast about a record-breaking year for skilled trades in BC. The ministry says more skilled workers are being qualified now than ever to enter the workforce. More than 8,700 certificates were handed out by the industry's training authority this year, and that represents an increase of 20% over last year.
If you take a look at the capital building plans in British Columbia, we are on the cusp of a development boom. There is going to be more work in British Columbia than we have people to handle it. If we don't have employers, we're not going to have a training system. That really is the culture shift that we need to affect in British Columbia right now, and it begins with employers.
The Training Authority says employers need to step up to the plate and to begin sponsoring more apprentices. The province says more than 1 million jobs will be opening up in BC within the decade, and more than 100,000 of them will be in the trades. If you'd like to find out more about the program, visit itabc.ca. Aboriginal students on the West Shore are being recognized for their dedication to academics and surpassing the province-wide graduation rate. This was a special celebration held in Langford last night for students in School District 62. That district has an Aboriginal graduation rate of 73%, and that far surpasses the provincial rate of 53%.
It will be a huge challenge to maintain that. We're working really hard and even harder to make sure that we maintain that trend, an increasing trend, as we continue to monitor our grade 12 students starting in September at all our secondary sites in our school district. So we're extremely thrilled and extremely excited for our graduation numbers this spring.
Congratulations to the graduates. There are a number of Aboriginal education programs in schools, with graduation rates being one of the top priorities within the Souk School District. The battle between a Victoria family and the Department of National Defence resumed in Ottawa today. A chilling scene today at the public hearing into how Canada's military handled the suicide of a soldier. Corporal Stuart Langridge took his own life on March 15, 2008. Today, the Federal Military Police Complaints Commission was showing a video of Langridge's body hanging by a belt in his Edmonton barracks room. Langridge's mother and stepfather live in Victoria. Sheila and Sean Fines say military investigations into their son's death have been biased. They believe the military failed to prevent his death in the first place. The family says despite Stuart suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and depression after serving in Bosnia and Afghanistan, he did not get proper psychiatric treatment. The Fines also say they were not informed that their son had left a suicide note until 14 months after his death. An Alberta medical examiner says he is surprised that the family didn't get that note sooner.
If literally if we're even right at a scene and a parent or someone says, oh, I have to have a copy of that note right now, and they've got some way of reproducing it there, we'll let them do it and we'll let them keep it there.
The Department of National Defence witnesses say Corporal Langridge's regiment in Edmonton did everything it could to help him, but Langridge had a substance abuse problem, they say, and was self-destructive. The inquiry, underway in Ottawa, is expected to last several more weeks. Rain or shine, it's always a good day to go boating, and if you're looking to set sail this summer, you may want to check out Canada's largest in-water boat show, on right now in the Inner Harbour in Victoria. It's the 22nd annual boat show in the Inner Harbour. It's been called a one-stop shop for anything that floats. The Inner Harbour is welcoming more than 200 boats, from 3-metre inflatables to a 21-metre BC-built supercraft and a multi-million-dollar luxury yacht.
This boat's powered with twin Caterpillar 1135s, can cruise at 30 knots on the ocean. Fully air-conditioned, 3 staterooms, hydraulic lift system on the stern for a dinghy, plus it's got a crane on top to put jet skis or scooters or whatever you wish up top.
This boat show offers a first chance opportunity for a lot of prospective boat buyers to come down and see product that's never been available before.
And if that's out of your price range, you're not looking to break the bank for a new yacht just yet, you'll find some vendors on site to get some boating accessories. Boarding passes to the show, $10 for adults, free for kids 16 and under. It began today and runs until Sunday. There's a warning for women in the Comox Valley tonight. RCMP say a recently released high-risk sexual offender is now living in the area. Take a look at his picture. He is Adrian Wilson, a 34-year-old Aboriginal man with brown hair and brown eyes. He is about 5'6" and weighs 170 pounds. He has a history of sex-related offenses and robbery. He is under close watch not to drink alcohol, nor possess weapons, nor approach anyone he has previously offended, or leave his house between 10 at night and 6 in the morning. If you see Wilson breaking those rules, contact the Comox Valley RCMP at 250-338-1321. RCMP and the Nanaimo need your help tonight. They're trying to track down a 35-year-old woman wanted for 2 counts of fraud, possession of stolen property, and impersonation. Mounties have issued a warrant for Misty Claudia Goulet. She has been on the wanted list since January 4th. Police allege Goulet was actively involved in numerous identity theft and fraud offenses up and down Vancouver Island. Goulet is believed to be in Nanaimo and has an extensive network of family and friends in the area. She's 5'3", 106 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. Also has a number of tattoos on her arms, her waist, and her ankles. If you know the whereabouts of Misty Claudia Goulet, you're asked to contact the Nanaimo RCMP at 250-754-2345. Well, this week is Child Sexual Abuse Prevention Week in British Columbia, and pediatricians in Nanaimo are playing a part in helping children who have been suffering from abuse or neglect. A new clinic to help kids suffering from abuse just opened its doors in Nanaimo. The children are referred to that clinic by police, RCMP, doctors, or Aboriginal agencies, and are then assessed by a pediatrician. A similar program helping kids closed its doors in Victoria in 2009. The Ministry of Children and Family Development says Nanaimo has a higher rate of reported child abuse than the provincial average.
If nobody is doing the assessments, how will we be able to finish off the investigative process and make sure the child is safe? So this is absolutely vital that this clinic is available on Vancouver Island.
Medical assessments at the clinic help to provide evidence that a child is suffering from physical or sexual abuse. The Suspected Child Abuse and Neglect, or SCAN unit as it is known, saw its first patients in Nanaimo on Tuesday. Developers of a low-barrier housing project in North Nanaimo are welcoming their neighbours by holding open houses. Pacifica Housing Society has come up against some fierce opposition from area residents who are worried about the development, which will house at least 33 people who are currently homeless. The meet and greet at the Vancouver Island Regional Library is on for another half hour tonight. Neighbours are mixing with the architect and with the future building's managers, getting a chance to ask and answer questions and see what the building might look like. The developer says they understand the resistance, but with 4 similar developments in the Greater Victoria area with no problems, they insist that the project will go ahead, and they invite the neighbours to trust them.
We're able to share with them what we see, the transformation for the tenants that live there, the value of it, how they fit in neighborhoods. So for us, we've experienced it, we see it, we believe in it, and we know it can work.
There was a mix-up with the invitations. That led to many being notified less than a week before tonight's gathering. So Pacifica says there's another open house. If you can't make it to this one, it's scheduled for April 25th. That's next Wednesday from 5 to 7. And it will once again be held at the Vancouver Island Regional Library.